just got cut off.
Okay, we're live again. Now everything seems to be going great. Hello,
Yep.
everyone. Welcome to this second attempt of doing a live show. Uh, and
It's high quality.
we
that's
are
what it is.
on the big screen tonight. I don't know which cinema that is, but apparently Edwin is doing our show for an audience now, so we have to behave.
God.
We have to behave now.
Does
Anyway,
that mean no swearing?
so everybody, welcome to the I don't know 27th or something Grindelwald Bastards show. We are all three of us are now there actually in our homes. We had two shows where we had a connection with Chris, who was on the road somewhere. We'll probably come back to that a bit later. I've got a program, but it has disappeared. I don't know where it is. I'm not gonna even gonna look for it. What we're gonna do today is, I think I know what it is. Wait a minute. Let me do something really cool. I think.
Say, I'm really big.
Yeah, there you are.
Ah, excellent. So, let me put my hands there, and
I will make your cam a little bit smaller. There you are.
Great. Looking
There we
good.
go.
This is
Yeah.
better, no? Well. Anyway, today's show. News of the week, which is probably be a lot about Formula One because something really bad happened. Then we've got an air.
Remember, there's no bias at all.
No,
with
not
this
at all.
group.
No, everybody who watches this show knows exactly where we're going from, so that's not going to be a problem. And we've got an AirTag update. Finally, an AirTag
Yes,
update
finally.
worth talking about.
Something's happening.
Something's happening. We've got a couple of other things that were that we saw on YouTube that we might, if there's time, show you. And then I could do a really interesting rant about my rigging of the sugar plane. And then we might or might not have a member of the week, whether or not that there's still time and we can think of something. So let's just, without further ado, check once more if everything's working. I can see that the reason why we're on the big screen with our biggest fan is that he's home alone, so he can now use the big screen to watch us. So well done.
Well done.
I'm not sure having the three of us that big is really beneficial, but okay.
I don't know either, but it's probably worth a try. Anyway, let's just start with talking about Formula One.
Let's start with our unbiased coverage.
I mean, I will just, for the viewers that might not have seen it or might not be into Formula One, Silverstone race was on last weekend. It was a special race because we, for the first time in history, had a sprint race. It's called different, but what they do now is on the Saturday, they do an actual race of 100 kilometers, which is on Silverstone about 17 laps. And they will just drive as fast as they can, and the winner has got 3 points. The second place has 2 points. The third one has 1 point, and that will also be the qualifying for the actual race. So the guy who wins the sprint race has pole position. That's in a nutshell what it's all about.
Yep.
So what happened? This was all very exciting, and it looked in training, it looked like Red Bull was very ahead. Then Mercedes was quicker.
Yeah.
It went all over the place, and we were a little bit afraid that that Hamilton might be so quick that he was going to win that sprint race. In the end, with a very accelerating start and a lot of pushing and pulling, Max managed to get ahead, and then he just went away and won that sprint race. So that was very positive, really nice, and it showed that, well, at least Red Bull was somewhere in the area a little bit better than Mercedes, and they were actually in the fight. So that was good. Then on Sunday we had the race. Obviously, with Max on pole position, Hamilton on second place, and they started. They were really close. I think Max had a different setup, and Hamilton was a little bit quicker from the start, not from the actual start, but he just gained a little bit more speed in that first couple of corners, which meant that they were side to side, almost touching. They rubbed the Pirelli logos off their wheels probably, and it was very, very exciting. And then at Copse Corner, there are two versions of what happened then. One version is Hamilton tried to murder Verstappen and drove him off the track. The other version is Hamilton was really trying to get along and made a little mistake and hit Max. The end was that Max, with over 250 kilometers an hour and a 51 G force, went into the barriers, race over. He looked really groggy when he came out of the car. And in that whole thing, Leclerc managed to pass both of them because he was in third position and he was leading the race with Hamilton being second. They had a red flag, so everybody had to stop, which I now understand was again a lot of luck for Hamilton because they could fix his car because one of his rims was broken. So they changed out the wheels and everything, and they went on with the race. There's a lot to say about that, but in the end, Hamilton won that race because of some problems that Leclerc had with his Mercedes, although he drove a pretty good race. And then went on to really do big celebrations with flags and everything because he was so proud that he finally won a race again. This is pretty much factually what happened. But obviously, this roared up all kinds of controversy about what happened. What I forgot is that Hamilton also got a 10-second stop and go penalty. He had to wait 10 seconds more for the the race stewards did actually state that Hamilton was guilty of that accident, and that's why he got the 10-second penalty. So that could have been it. You could say that, okay, it's a racing accident. It was a little bit aggressive, but to be fair, back a couple of years ago, Max could have done the same sort of thing, although the result was very dramatic in this case because it was such a high speed. And it's the championship, so there is a little bit more load in the whole situation. But if you take it back a step, you could still say that this is a racing accident. But then, when you look closer, that's where we can have a discussion now. Probably, you could say, okay, what happened? Was it an accident? Did he do it on purpose? And now a couple of things that I heard was, first of all, he was sick and tired of losing so Hamilton was sick and tired of losing to Max. We know that Hamilton does very strange things when under pressure because he rammed his teammate off the track at one point in time.
This is also the third time he's hit Max in the same situation.
And he's hit Max a couple of times, and he was really, really, and apparently. This is all what I hear in the media. So, as far as I can tell, they also said that he actually stated within Mercedes that he didn't want to allow Max to pull that kind of trick again. So, if Max was driving dangerous and he couldn't get past, he would now not let that happen, and he would just, I'll fill it in, but he will just hit him and ram him off the track. Which he didn't say actually, but that was implied with what he was saying.
So if you go back to Baku, so the restart at Baku, there was no way that he pushed the wrong button on the steering wheel and missed that corner at Baku.
No.
The speed and the trajectory of his car, he was angling to hit Checo.
Yeah.
If you look at the speed and the angle of the car at Copse, if he didn't hit Max, he was going to straight line that corner and go into the gravel. Yeah. So if Max hadn't been there, he would have gone off.
Yeah.
But it was only because he hit him that he managed to make the corner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For him to have the balls to come on the radio and say I was ahead when you can see in the camera the whole of Max's car is in front of him. Yeah. I'm like, Lewis, I don't know if you're completely blind or just fatally stupid, but you're not ahead.
Well, and this is where it all goes, where the shit hits the fan. Because the way that Hamilton then said these things, like what was he doing? He turned in on me. I was ahead. It was not my fault. It's a racing accident. All these things. And then the celebrations at the end of the race as if he had done a great thing by winning this race. Winning the race by just catapulting off your component. Having a lot of luck and changing wheels at a red flag situation. Then get only a 10-second penalty, which is not a lot for if you're driving a Mercedes. Then have a teammate ordered to back off, and have a broken Ferrari in front of you. So well done. I mean, really good job.
Congratulations on winning another race through no talent of your own.
And that shows the real Hamilton, because he can only be so forgiving and so respectful if he has the upper hand, if he has the high ground, if he is the king, he can do that. But now he's under pressure, and he shows his ugly side. Because what he's saying is just not fair, and he should have. It would have all been less of an annoyance if he had just said, "Shit, that may have been a little bit too harsh. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah. This is just, I am so, I want to win this race. We're racing. Sorry, Max. We have to be careful."
If he'd have got to the end and said, it's nice to have the victory, but the circumstances were bad or something.
But he did not do that. He just went on.
No, the fact that he was jumping around with the flag as if he was the champion of the world.
He was implying that there was not his fault. The only way he wasn't harsh in saying it was not his fault, it was all Max's fault, was that he wanted not to create a problem. But in his mind, he was completely right. And there was no fault in what he was doing at all. Then, looking back at what happened, I saw a very nice screenshot of the race where, first of all, the positions of the cars when he hit Max. And below that, the positions of the cars when he overtook Leclerc. And what you really can see is that he was not at the apex at all. He was about 2 or 3 meters away from the apex. At Cops Corner, and Max was in exactly the same position as that Leclerc was. So Max,
he was going for Leclerc.
He was going for Leclerc probably, but
and I'm not surprised that Leclerc went wide and went off, because Leclerc probably saw where Max was and thought, if I don't get out of the way, he's going to ram.
Yeah, that could be it.
I fully believe that's why he went off. Well, because otherwise he could have kept Max behind him. Or he could have kept Hamilton behind him.
That could be. On the other hand, it could also be that Hamilton was not out on hitting Leclerc, because he was much more careful, because he took much more the inside of the apex of the corner. There were 2 or 3 meters more to the right, and if he had done that with Max, and not went too wide and catapulted off anyway, because that could have happened also. But if he had done that, maybe they would have gotten 2 together. And then maybe a couple of corners afterwards he would have overtook Max anyway, which would have been a possibility too. But it's the reason that he is just on his high horse saying that it's not his fault, this is a racing accident. And that's just not a good thing. And then all the discussions about the 10-second penalty, that's not enough, because Tsunoda got a 10-second penalty for driving over a white line, and Hamilton got a 10-second penalty for. I mean,
they said that was the second most lenient penalty they could have given him.
Yeah. So that's another discussion.
What I did think was funny was Helmut Marko with his flamethrower. Because Helmut Marko straight away is like, Hamilton needs to... I'm like,
No.
Okay, it was bad, but...
No. I don't...
I think that would have been too much.
you know,
yeah.
I think
10,
with
10 seconds is
with the
is
rules,
crazy.
But it should have been a 10-second stop and go. So he had to do a 10-second stop and go without the pit stop.
Exactly, and then
come around and do the pit stop again.
That would have been better. But if you hear,
that would have been more fair.
I mean, some of the I listen to F1 Nation. Those are the Sky reporters, and they are totally in Hamilton's camp. They really don't see any problem with the whole action.
No.
They think Max is being like a crybaby, you know, and they and I don't. It sounds like they really think that that's the case. And I mean the internet.
They think the sun shines out of Hamilton's ass.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Anyway, you know, it's so. But if
Yeah.
So, what we have to hope now is in Hungary that Max resists the temptation to do the same thing back.
Yeah.
He just needs to keep his head down and concentrate on driving, because if he gets into a revenge state of mind, it's not going to do anybody any good.
What were you going to say, Oscar?
Oh, I was saying that I think Max is really standing above it, because he only said, well, it's not so nice that Hamilton was showing the victory like he was doing this with the flag, etc. So I think that's the only real comment Max made up until now about it all. I think Max is the first one who will say, hey, it's a racing accident, and but it's just how Hamilton now behaves after it that makes it worse.
I think so too.
And I really hope, and I think that he's now mature enough, and also with everything what happened in the past, that Max will just come back even better, and he will not do something stupid like this. But also the other thing what I wanted to say is about I think Lewis Hamilton actually proved himself on the track that he was wrong when he was trying to overtake Verstappen, because of the Leclerc action in the same corner. He really backed out.
Yeah,
he was even on the right spot of the apex of the corner, and still he backed out. You saw that he was braking, and therefore he actually showed himself to the world that he was wrong with the action on Verstappen.
I am, and I know everybody has its opinion, but I am really of the opinion that Hamilton was thoroughly annoyed that first of all Max won the sprint race. They've been in simulators all weekend. They are really trying to win this, and they cannot stand the fact that Max is doing so well. So that was the first thing. And then with them being so close, he got the chance to overtake him, which is not always the case. And he was just there was just a blind he just went totally berserk, and he made that very dangerous mistake. And that happened.
Like Sky reporters said, Copse is one of the fastest corners in Formula One. Nobody passes on the inside of Copse. You just don't do it.
No, I know.
But there's another issue now, which you kind of just skirted past there about the simulators. So generally speaking, none of the teams have simulators at the track.
No.
Mercedes' home base is 10 minutes from the track in Brackley. On Friday morning and Saturday morning, it turns out Lewis was in the simulators, and they're now saying, well, that's the equivalent of track time that you're not allowed to have.
Okay.
During a race weekend.
Okay.
And Toto Wolff's going, no, it's perfectly legal to do that. And all the other teams are going, we don't have access to simulators on race day.
Okay. Oh, well.
So three of the teams, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Williams, have now protested that why was Mercedes allowed to use simulators on race day when no one else was allowed to have track time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That is, yeah. That is a good point, really. That is a good point. Okay. Well.
Anyway, let's hope Hungary goes better.
Yeah, and just to what you were saying, I was just helping Georgia a little bit. But to what you're saying about Max, I hope that he keeps the high ground now, and that he.
I hope so.
And that he not does something stupid, because that would degrade him. I would rather have him in the end with a very close call lose the championship, but be the better driver and Hamilton just being, dissed by everyone, than him winning the championship with the same dirt as Hamilton's doing. But I can say that. But most or a lot of Formula One champions have been real assholes, because that's mostly the way that it's done. If you look at guys like Senna and all the other guys. Anyway, we'll see, also, and we hope that he.
Major kudos to George Russell.
Oh yeah.
Got into Q3 again.
Yeah.
Both him and Lando did really well in the race, given the situation.
Definitely. Yeah, so, that got snowed under a little bit, but it was a very nice race. I mean, it was a very good and entertaining race. It was just that we were throwing our dishes around the house and we're throwing our TVs out of the window. But but it was a very, very good race. So again, let's hope Hungary will be the sweet revenge in a good way, and then everything will be over. It will prove it. Okay. Anyway, a little short thing about what. I saw, and I think a lot of us saw it now.
This is far more entertaining.
This is just a little lighter, just to take off the edge. This guy.
There is no way this should be as much fun as it is.
No, but as you can see, this guy, and he's got 100 videos like this, so he does a lot of that. Yeah. This guy has a treadmill which he has put under an angle. I think you can do that automatically with treadmills, because you can walk up a mountain. And what he does is he puts all scale cars or little small cars on it, and then he starts up the belt, and you will see what happens. I thought there was actually something. This is probably the best reason to get one of these treadmills, because this is really cool.
Because you won't use it for exercise after the first week, so you've got to find something to
normally
do with
you hang your clothes over it and stuff like that, but I think using it for this purpose is really great. I don't know if I can maybe fast forward it a little bit, because he's now talking a lot. Oh, here we go. So all the cars are now behaving like they are on a road. And he just does this until one car has one car's left. One car's left, and sometimes there is some sort of status quo. You can see that here too. I saw one where a van actually won the whole thing in the end. But
that's the male.
Now see the blue car coming in front suddenly because something happens, and then the cars just move back and forth. It is so mesmerizing to watch. And this would actually be something that you could probably place bets on. There's a whole industry.
It is truly random.
It is. It's truly random, and it's like I can see a whole industry coming. I think maybe with all the money that's left from our viewers that have donated, we could probably buy. We could probably buy one of these things. I mean, the cars we've got, but just get a treadmill and do that. So now you see that only 2 cars are left. And sometimes it looks like nothing's going to happen. But as far as I've seen, in the end, maybe after 10 seconds or whatever, and now you see the green car has won the whole thing.
Wins.
Isn't this just absolutely
fabulous?
It
should not be that entertaining.
But I'm wondering the angle of the treadmill. So it should be facing forward. So because the gravity
must have put something under the back to tilt it down.
Yeah. So the gravity. So the cars are by gravity going forward.
Yeah. And by then it's going backwards.
Then it's a speed thing. How quickly they are. Scattered off the treadmill. So probably you should have when you are going to do this for bets, you need to make it more heavy and very very light wheelbase.
Oh yeah, you can probably prep your car to win this, which is also great.
Put slicks on it.
Yeah, you know, it's all
or not. No,
I can get so excited about stuff like this. You know, it's like
you need to put a link to his channel in the video below.
I will because he deserves a lot of views. And another thing, I mean, while we're on the subject, another thing that I thought it's in the same sort of league that I thought was really cool was a guy. I mean, we've shown the little really 1/67 scale or whatever. 76 radio controlled cars, and there's an old model, the Mini, which you see here, and then there's a newer model that we've seen shortly. It's a little bit better, and this guy has actually built a circuit, but in a way that I really love, like you build a train track or whatever. So this guy has built a miniature circuit. On that scale, you can really build something really cool, and he is racing his little tiny RC cars on that. I mean, isn't this great? You know, this is so cool. And if you have a couple of friends, you can just meet up, have a couple of beers, and have so much fun doing races or just driving over this. Look at this. This is so cool. This is the stuff that dreams are made of, don't you think?
This man has a lot of spare time on his hands.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's most of the time that's the limiting factor. But still, you know, this is not too difficult. Really cool. This is doable. Like the level of detail isn't that high, and it's just
and he's managing to make the apex of all the corners.
Oh yeah.
Except for that one.
Anyway, I thought that was really cool and worth showing too. And I was just wait a minute. There we are. If you hear some sounds in the background, that's my son watching YouTube. So anyway,
AirTags?
AirTags. Yes, let us do the AirTag thing and see if we can technically make that happen.
I just saw a message from our viewer Edwin that he has actually he has a treadmill at home.
Oh, okay, we're coming.
Oh,
we will do a show from his house next time.
Yeah. On location.
On location.
Grindelwald bastards on location. Yeah.
Okay, so I will try and move some things around in order to be able to show you Chris's screen.
Can you see it?
Not yet, because now I can see your screen. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Sorry for the grab screen. I think we've got it, and it should be okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can't see what you're broadcasting, so I will you just tell me when. Okay. So leg 2, the AirTag finally left Holland. We covered this a couple of weeks ago, but there was an interesting delay. So it started off at Paul's house. It sat at a bookshop near his house at the drop-off point for a couple of days. And then it went back out through one of the sorting facilities. We thought that this might end up on a train because there's a rail platform here. It didn't. It ended up going back to the same sort facility that it came in through, the PostNL sorting warehouse in Fort Park. From there, I got a hit off it at the airport, and it started off at Emirates Air Cargo. So it started off over here. This is where it came into Schiphol from Holland. And then it moved over to Qatar Air Cargo, and then it stayed here. And I got a hit off it moving. Let's see, what day would this be? This would be 4 days after it left Paul's house, and I got a hit right there on the runway. And that corresponded to a Qatar Air cargo flight, which was going to Doha. So I looked it up in Flight Tracker, and I followed it, and I knew when it was going to land in Doha. And within about an hour of it landing, all the way over here, I got a hit on the ramp. So this is when it landed at Doha. Oops. Go over to here. And I got it hit right here on the ramp at Doha. From there, it went to their air cargo hub. It stayed there for a day. And then a couple of days later, I got a ping off it on the ramp here. And then it ended up here at the terminal. And it was sort of moving backwards and forwards between these three gates here. And when I started to look up, I went to the Doha airport website and looked up. Let's have a look. Yeah, looked up all of the flights leaving, and sure enough, there was a flight to Perth that was leaving from this gate. The flight number I got was QR 900. I got a hit off it right on the end of the runway here, so someone on a plane near it must have had their Wi-Fi and their Bluetooth on. And then after it left Doha, it went to Perth all in one go. So we go all the way around to Australia, and this is where it started to get really weird. So it started off, it arrived in Perth at the terminal, basically where the flight was predicted to arrive. So that's where the QR 900 flight came in. I got a ping off it here when everyone turned their cell phones on. Then it went to Menzies Aviation, which is cargo handling.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a hit here at the South Gate exit ramp. So it must have been on a truck or a transport going from here, because the next place I got a hit was Australia Post at their gateway facility, which is this building here. And this is where it started to get weird, because it stayed here for 2 or 3 days, I think.
Uh-huh.
Just have a look. Yeah, so it arrived in this building on Sunday, June the 20th, and then it stayed there for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
On June the 25th, it showed up over here at DHL Logistics.
Yeah.
Then it went to this building at the Perth Gateway, and then it was in this building again from June the 26th until July the 9th. So it spent nearly 2 weeks in this building.
Uh-huh.
Don't know why.
No.
And then suddenly it moved and it went to the Perth Mail Centre. And I thought, okay, the fact that it's moved means it's not dead. They haven't found it and burned it.
No.
They haven't thrown it away.
Uh-huh.
And then things happened really, really quickly. So on Friday, July the 9th, I got a ping off it from the Perth Mail Centre.
Mm-hmm.
On July the 11th, 2 days later, I got a hit from it at the parking garage. And I think this was probably as the truck left and went around this road here and passed someone who had their phone on.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, so that was Sunday. And then on Monday, July the 12th, I won't go too close, it was delivered.
Okay.
This bit here between the 11th and the 12th, I was in bed and I wasn't able to track it, so I don't know exactly where it went.
Mm-hmm.
But it arrived.
Okay.
So it's now in Australia. It's at the sort of the target destination, if you like.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know how the audio will come out from this, but we'll give it a try. Let me see. I have a lot of photos of where it's been. Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but this is my friend in Australia, also from Holland.
Uh-huh. No, we can't hear the sound, but...
So I'll send you the video and you can
yeah,
it somewhere.
we can't hear it, but I've seen it. It's great.
So So there it is in Perth in Australia.
Cool.
With my friend.
Cool.
Ray.
Yes.
So he is going to send that off.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully this week, maybe next week. And from there, it is going to go to Tokyo. So I have a friend in Tokyo who is ready to receive it.
Okay.
And what he said to me was, he said, when you start to get hits off the tag at Tokyo Airport, at Narita or at Haneda, watch it very closely, because he said most of the time it's less than 9 hours between it landing and being delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's quick.
So
that's cool.
Once it gets on the way again, I will update you.
Uh-huh.
And we can watch and see when it ends up in Tokyo.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's kind of fun, because the round the world now looks like this. It started off here in America in Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
It went from there to Los Angeles, to New York, to Amsterdam, to Rotterdam, now back to Amsterdam, through Doha, all the way down to Perth. So then it's going to go from Perth up to Tokyo, and then hopefully come back to me in Salt Lake City.
Very cool.
That is so cool.
The battery has used about 20% of the battery so far.
Okay.
When I get a hit off it, it shows me what the battery life is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's sitting in Australia. It's ready to travel again. Once it starts traveling, I'll let you know.
Great stuff. Really cool. And then we'll probably need to do a 1 hour show of the whole thing with with interviews and everything. It's so cool. And I'm really interested to see how long it takes to get it to Tokyo. Maybe that'll be a lot sooner than from here to Australia. Well, the strange thing is, it was very quickly. It was within a week or 10 days it was in Australia, but then it just stayed in Perth at the airport for so long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it stayed there for a long, long time, and I just don't know why.
Well, but maybe we should do some experiments on this as well, to put it every time in the same envelope to the same person. But every time name it differently, because I think now Paul said something about a name tag for a dog or something.
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it was a red flag or something.
We'll call it something else on the customs form next time.
Yeah, but maybe try to just to start with all kinds of names or whatever, and see which one takes the longest time to get through customs.
Yeah, I think the one where we call it a bomb will take very long.
That might take a while. Let's not do that. That would be.
That would be
Pooter.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I had all kinds of problems with our windows and cameras again, but I've rearranged the whole thing. So sorry for that, viewers. But
am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Everything's great again, but. Okay. Just a little bit of information. Sometimes everything's fine, and then on your side, switching something or moving around, or suddenly it sees a different format or a different aspect ratio or whatever, and it totally messes up the whole thing. So I then frantically try to get everything back again. It's probably entertaining for our viewers, but not so much for me. And at the same time, I had my GoPro set up, which was working fine. And it just suddenly stopped, and I can't even turn it on again now. So that piece of shit will go out of the window soon too. Anyway, that's what you get if you're not the professional studio. It's just we try.
Can you share your screen again? Because I can see you two perfectly, but I can't see what we're doing.
Okay, let's do that. Share screen. Start sharing. I think I did that. Oh, maybe you went. Went out and then and now you've shifted again. Why?
I need to go down this way.
I know, but
there we go.
The thing is, I have no clue why this is happening. You know. Anyway, so
Oscar, how's the water outside your house?
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Well, small update on that one. It's really back to normal. It's crazy how quick the water is coming up. So that's actually scary.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to a colleague today, and I said it's really like a tsunami, but then really somewhere with, of course, sweet water and somewhere within a country, so not near the sea. But it's
so did
crazy.
Did the water flow in from anywhere, or did it just start to come up from the river?
Well, it was coming up from the river, but it was so much water that it was not. The river was not able to keep it within its limits. So and therefore it was in what is it in all the fields and near the river first, and then it used the streets, and it was just getting higher and higher, and then of course it goes everywhere. And well, it came from for what comes from our city or place is coming from Vaals, so near the German border. There the river starts more or less. And or the stream, I cannot really call it a river. So normally it's just 30 centimeters deep and a meter wide or something, which comes by our house, and it's really nothing. You cannot see it when you're close by, and well, you saw the movies also, Chris. But so at the end it was just one big mess of water. And it came from the side from my backyard. So, and I was actually trying to pump my vijver. What is it? My pond. My pond. I wanted to empty my pond a bit, because I thought there was so much water in it, and it was overspilling into my garden. And due to the heavy rain showers, the soil was completely wet already. So even it was soaked. So even the rain was not going into the ground anymore. And then I thought, well, it will keep on raining, so I need to get rid of the water out of my pond, because that's adding to my garden.
Yeah.
And I was actually discussing this with Edwin before I drove home, and I started doing this. So I was searching for some tubes, etc. and then I heard
maybe a vacuum, a pond vacuum.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Or don't you have one?
I have what is it? A pump in my pond. So you use this one, of course.
Yeah.
But it's and then I heard. I thought, the river is making a lot of noise today. So I got a stare, and I looked over my fence. And I saw the water rising, and it was already in the gardens around me. Yeah. And then I thought, well, I can skip the emptying of my pond now, or my pond now. So, and then we started, to really put everything up the stairs in house, and it was some crazy hours, I can tell you. And at the end, we are. At the one hand, very fortunate, because it was only coming through one door in my house. So we need just for one room to remove the what is it? The wood on the floor.
Yeah.
And the rest of the house is nothing wrong with. So we are lucky.
Okay.
Yeah, you're very lucky.
Yeah.
In the end, yes.
I saw the pictures coming out of the Ahr Valley in Germany, and that's just been decimated.
That's brutal. Belgium too. Spa, and it's just terrible.
Yeah.
And it's all over Europe, really, because I've seen. I know in Switzerland the lakes were. It was not like as in Germany, like that bad, but the lakes were rising too, so they had, water on the streets and so. But it wasn't bad. It was just high water. But in the south of Germany and I think east of Germany, they had problems too. So it's just a lot of rain, and a lot of people say
even.
We have a really interesting problem here in Utah with canyons, with flash floods in the canyons.
Okay.
So you have these really deep slot canyons. They're called slot canyons because they're like this.
Okay.
You can walk along the bottom. They're kind of narrow. Maybe one person, two people wide, but then they're like 20 or 30 meters deep. And there's trails that go all the way through the bottom of them.
Okay.
And people die in those every year because of flash floods, and the problem is the storm is nowhere near you. So you'll be in 35C in desert conditions, and there's a storm 50 or 60 kilometers away, and all that rain falls onto the catchment area, and then it funnels down into these slot canyons, and then by the time it gets to you, it's doing 50 or 60 kilometers an hour, and it's 20 meters deep, and people just don't have the time.
No, that's bad. Yeah, it's one of nature's forces, and it's always bad, like tsunamis, as Oscar said. It's just like you can't do anything. You're just too late.
Don't fuck with water.
No. Water is pretty bad. It might even be worse than the storm. But Anyway, so well, luckily everything is sort of settling down again. Also, the high water level it's leveling out because of it gets wider. So when it gets to where we are, it's not as bad anymore. And the river gets wider, and and then it sort of dissipates. So we don't have any problems here. But normally, where we live, the danger comes from the sea, not so much as from the rivers anymore. Oh well, that was an adventure. My parents are there camping in Limburg, but they are that was nice. But luckily they are.
So they started off camping in Limburg, and now they're somewhere in France. They just washed away.
Yeah, they just moved by themselves. Yeah, no, I just ordered like a little raft from Amazon, and I sent it. So we're taking care of you. No, it's they were high up, so they didn't have any problems really, except for an exceptionally large amount of rain. But that was about it. Yeah. So
and no river in the neighborhood.
No, they're not near a river or water, so they didn't have any real problems, luckily. Because they've had problems, so that's enough.
We're still in extreme drought. We've had no rain since April here.
Wow.
We had 2 dry winters and not much rain last year. So yeah, they're starting to actually worry about the water supply now.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Only
so
now.
If you can take some of the water that you have and put it in tankers for us,
we could.
No problem.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Well, I hear that shipping stuff with boats, like containers, is just crazy expensive now because of Corona, probably. It's really expensive to move stuff around, so probably that's not going to be a solution to send water. But
don't anybody move house at the moment.
No, that's difficult too. Oh well. Anyway, okay, we've got another 10 minutes, so if it's okay, there are 2 things that I would like to share. I had set up a whole nice thing with my GoPro, but my GoPro has just flown out of the window, so that's not available anymore. But what I do have...
You said you wanted to swear about the rigging of the shoot.
That's coming too. That's coming too. But one other thing...
Ooh, yeah!
Merchandise.
The merch has arrived. We've got really great... stickers, or what do you call them in decals or whatever, and I'm still thinking of what we need to do. If maybe we put a poll out to our viewers and maybe they can win one, or we should just send them worldwide and just pay postage for them. I'm not sure. Let's think. Maybe if people have suggestions, let me know, but I'll make sure that you guys get a couple of those too, and we can start putting these everywhere, bumper stickers and everything. But
did you put the YouTube channel on the bottom?
No, it's just the sticker, so it's not the YouTube channel. But I could have done that probably, but I'll write it on the back.
I'll hope to collect mine in person in September.
Yes, please do. That's
hopefully
that's fine.
Very cool.
If everything, let's hope. Let's not. We have promised to keep this show Corona free. So let's not discuss anything.
Saying nothing else.
Anything about Corona. Okay, the rigging of the plane. Let's shortly talk about that.
Except the beer. We can talk about Corona beer.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
The rigging of the plane. You've seen it so many times now because it takes me so long to work on it. But maybe you can see that between the wings. There is some wires.
Yeah, we have some
rigging.
Wires.
Okay. This was something that I thought would take maybe an hour, and then the problems started. Because how are you going to do that? Okay, apparently there was a way to do it after watching the internet, because there is special packages with rigging wire, and the great thing about this is that it's elastic, so you can just make sure it's straight, because you glue it on one side, you pull it a little bit, glue it on the other side, and it's perfectly straight. So I bought 2 of them, and I thought I'd just buy the largest diameter, the thickest wire, and one below that. But I didn't really look at what that was. But apparently, it's 0.01 millimeters.
That's like a human hair,
which is pretty thin. And I managed to get it on, but you didn't even see it. It was just too thin.
Yeah.
So then I started looking, and there's actually not a lot. I think there's 0.02, but that wasn't thick enough too. So I calculated back what size it should be, and I think better was like 0.5 mil or something in that area. So 0.5 millimeters. So that's about 50 times larger, I think. Anyway, so but I didn't know what to do. So then this is the whole bucket of tryouts. So then I saw, I think it was called Hermines Nijgaren or something like that, like a shop where they sell sewing materials. And one of the things they sold for, I think it's €1, and then 15 euros postage, I don't know. But anyway, and it was, I think it's 0.4 millimeters. And so I got that. So on attempt 2, I tried to use that. The problem with this is when you cut it, it frays, yeah. So that was, I tried to put things on the end, but it was not a good solution, and I stopped doing that. So that didn't go. Then I thought, okay, am I just gonna not do the rigging, or am I gonna try something else? And then I thought, I was at Meijer and Blessing, at a hobby store, and they had brass tubing in all kinds of sizes, 0.4, 0.5 millimeters, everything you can imagine. But the problem with this is that it's the right size, but you have to cut it at exactly the correct length for it to to fit between the and obviously that didn't go very well, because it was either a little bit too long or a little bit too short, but it was never right where you wanted to. So so that was not. Then I thought, okay, normally you see in the real world too, you see at the end of the wire, there is some sort of attachment where it's fitted to the plane, and that's normally a little bit thicker. So I thought, let's just get, I don't have that here, but let's just get some electric wire, pull out the copper, and use that on the end of the messing, the brass rods, because then I can make it a little bit longer or shorter. You have a little bit of wiggle room.
You have a slider.
So even then it was difficult to get the right size, but that did work. And then the last thing that I need to talk about is CA glue. Why is it a fact that it will glue literally everything except what you want to glue? It has stuck. When you use a tweezer and you put a little bit of glue on it, and you put the thing on the plane and you keep it there for a while, and then
now your tweezer is stuck.
The tweezer is stuck to the wire and the plane. Yes. So this is universal truth. Universal truth. So then you have to pull it off, and then obviously, if you're lucky, everything comes up again, and not the whole wing, but sometimes also the whole wing, undercarriage.
And then it's stuck to your finger.
And then it's stuck to your finger. Yes, obviously, because it will glue that too. So I have literally, the swear words are, I won't mention them here, but it has been enormous hell to get this done. I did get it. I managed to do it. It looks great, but I will never do it again. And I will probably never do a plane like that again, because it's just so much work to get that right. Anyway, I'm glad I've done it. I can now go on to my next project. But I thought it was worth sharing.
So I have a suggestion. You said the original elastic wire was like 0.01 or something, and there was maybe a 0.02.
Yeah.
I would have tried putting 2 or 3 strands of the 0.02 together. Yeah.
That could have.
And see what that looked like.
That could have maybe worked too. Yes, I did not.
When I used to do those, I would use very thin sewing cotton.
Yeah.
I would cut the end of the thread and then heat it so that the plastic in it formed like a little blob on the end to stop it from fraying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I would, if there wasn't a hole in the strut in the wing, I would put a little hole in there and thread it through there, and then glue it.
Yeah. On the other end.
And then cut the back off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there weren't holes here, and the scale is really tiny, so it was a little bit difficult. But
yeah.
Well, you see, that could have been maybe if I do end up building another one sometime, that might be a solution. But the thing is,
if you do build yourself a practice rig first and try it there. Yeah. Then you can glue your fingers to that.
Yeah.
And maybe even another idea is just when you have put them on the plane, start use paint and paint them.
Yeah.
Because probably you will get also with black paint or whatever the color should be.
Yeah.
You make it also thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, paint them after I rig them. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Maybe that's a solution too. Maybe I should just build another plane just to try that.
No, just the 2 pieces of wood.
Yeah, just try it like that.
And then try. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that was because we did start making this show about modeling and building stuff, so I thought we'd just get back to that too.
Yeah, very good, very good.
So
I will try to build one or more of the Lego cars for next week.
Yes, please do. That would be great. Well, it's 9:00 again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody and also say thanks for watching. Put your comments, thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever you want to do. We had, I think, 6 views on the last video, which is not great. But, well, the thing is, one technical thing, what YouTube does is after the live show, it'll just make the video available as a live video. But then it has the 10 minutes intro on it. So what I do is I remove that intro and put the end credits on it and everything. And then it makes a new video out of that. So a lot of times I already have a couple of views on the actual live video. And then that goes away and a new video comes. So we should probably put them together and then it's about 10 or 12 views every time. Normally, I mean, if you have 10,000 views, you don't...
10 or 12. We're getting pretty desperate.
Yeah. If you have 10,000 views, it doesn't matter if you 10,003 views or 10,006 views. But for us, it makes a difference. Anyway, I will...
like, comment, subscribe.
Thanks a lot for watching. And thank you guys for joining. And we'll see each other again.